Good morning, folks. This is Pawpaw and my girl Hattie. We're out making our rounds, and we do this many times a day. Just kind of, well, not many times. I guess probably 3 or 4 times a day, depending on what's going on. Don't you notice here something? There's a little birdhouse right here. It's actually built out of scrap wood left over, some old picket fences and stuff. It's a bluebird house, an eastern bluebird, I believe what they're called. And bluebirds only nest in a cavity, like a birdhouse or a hollow tree. And I build these things and put them up for the bluebirds every spring. Now, I'm gonna pull up here a little bit. This is where we stacked that equipment a while back, Lester and Daniel and myself. And I've got 3 bluebird houses here. And I want to try to show you something if I can. Then I'm going to tell you about them. There's two little ones right there on that fence. I don't know if you can see them. Right to the left of that post. I can't make my camera. All right, can you see them? Those are 2 little baby bluebirds. Just come out of their nest. They haven't really learned to fly yet. Now they will. Their moms are all here. Now, the story behind those, you can see another house over there. And there's another little one right on top of that little post. Out of your nose in the way. And there's that bluebird house right here. Anyway, I'm not going to stir them up, make them all try to move. You see the mama coming in to land there checking on them. Bluebirds, the daddy bluebird is a bright blue. And the little mama bluebird is kind of dingy. Now, I used to make a joke that, the daddies don't need makeup. Then I got in trouble making those kind of jokes. But it is the same way with a redbird. A redbird, the daddy redbird is a bright red. And the little mama's kind of a dingy color. But I found out that ladies don't appreciate makeup jokes. What do you think? All right. So anyway, I'm gonna tell you the story here. I have a friend named Bob Foote, and I always try to mention people's names when I talk about them, because it kind of just keeps their memory alive, I guess you can say. I read that one time where if you mention a person's name when you tell a story, regardless if they're alive or passed away, the memory is kept going. But anyway, Bob and I are good friends. I used to stop by his house every morning and have coffee with him and his wife. Not every morning, but probably a couple of days a week on my way home from work. And they've moved now. They don't live here in this area no more. But one day, Bob's telling me about the bluebirds, because he had built some bluebird houses, and I saw him. I said, "What you got going here, Bob?" And he said, "Well, let me tell you. Bluebirds, all them little ones they trying to fly. They get good." He said, "Bluebirds have got pretty scarce in this area because people have cut all the old growth timber out of a lot of places, and that's where they would nest in hollows, in cavities. They won't nest out on a limb like other birds. They don't build their nest out on a limb somewhere just out of straw. They get in a cavity and build their nest." And let's see if I can get it. But anyway, there's them 3 little ones right there. But he said, and because of them cutting all the timber, bluebirds got kind of scarce. He said, "Bluebirds, that's not a bluebird there. That's an old cowbird, a black cowbird. But the bad thing about that cowbird there, and I'm gonna get to this here in just a second, he's a danger to the little bluebirds. He don't hurt them, but he will go in a bluebird house if you make that little hole too big and lay an egg, one egg, amongst the bluebird eggs. And the mama bluebird won't know it. She'll hatch them all out, and that little cowbird is bigger, and so he'll get every insect she brings in for the babies, and the others, the little bluebirds, will actually starve. And he'll grow big and fat. And so anyway, Bob said, you got to make that hole a certain size. I think it's 1.5 inches. I may be wrong. I have to look back on my little blueprint. But he gave me a blueprint. He says, go on and build something. You hang them on the fence post. He says, bluebirds will come to them. They'll find them. And he says, and they'll come every year. So every year, I try to build 2 or 3 more. Don't take long to build one. You build them out of scrap, you know, and just put them up. Just make sure that hole is right. And they will come back. And those little ones that hatch here, they will come back also next spring. But the benefit of bluebirds, the immediate benefit is they eat, mostly their main diet is mosquitoes. And we have a lot of mosquitoes here in East Texas. And you would think from some of the movies I watch of Alaska, these bluebirds do great up there. They have tons of mosquitoes. But we have enough ourselves. But that's what their primary diet is mosquitoes. And so they'll stay here until fall, and they'll all go back south or wherever they go to. I'd have to look up where they migrate to. They leave here. And but I just want to tell you about the bluebirds. I think that's an interesting story and a fact about them. And there's this little guy right here. One day I'm gonna give you a bigger camera where I can zoom in on stuff. But look at that little guy. I'm gonna turn this motor off. I should have turned it off to start with, shouldn't I? That little guy sitting there, he's learning to fly. But anyway, there's another one right over here. But yeah, they come back in the spring. All right, there comes one, checking him out. That's probably mama. And actually, they'll fly down and feed them little ones sitting on that fence post, because they're not big enough to get out yet and you know, hustle up and chase down mosquitoes like mom and dad are. But they come back in the spring and they'll bring all the little ones with them. And then every year I try to build, you know, I'll try to build 3 or 4 every year, just off and on. I'll build some and I'll put them up. I've got enough fence posts on this line right here to put up probably 4 or 5 more, and I will before next season. I think they probably migrated all they're going to do right now. So, but I'll have them up ready for them next year when they come in here looking for a place to live. So I just want to tell you guys about the bluebirds and what they do for us, and I thought an interesting story about them, because, you know, a lot of our timber has been cut down and replanted in pine trees, because pine trees grow so much faster. And for these people that, you know, harvest timber, that's where the money's at. Not so much in the old growth oak that does so much for us, like our bees and these kind of birds and stuff like that, and even the animals, squirrels and coons, raccoons and stuff like that. But we still have some behind our property, you know, a lot of it back there, but not much up here in the front. But these guys like an open place. These birdhouses 5 or 6 foot off the ground. Make sure that hole is the right size, and one day I'll find out exactly. I'll look on my blueprint, see what size that is, and let you guys know. I think it's 1.5 inches, but it's got to be exact. Too small, they can't get in it, and too big, the other birds will come in. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go on that. I just want to show you these bluebirds and how well they did, how well they do. All right, I'm gonna let you go here. This is Pawpaw and my girl Heidi, and we're out of here.